I was just like going crazy. And I was like, you know what? Let me fucking just shave my head off. And I was just like, buzzed it, no problem. What's up, everybody? Back on another episode of the SUGA CRAVE Show. I'm glad to be back with you guys. I've been on hiatus. I've been doing the whole, stepping away from social media. I don't know. I just been kind of been away, just trying to figure my shit out mentally and physically. And just, as you can see, I've gone crazy. I went Britney Spears on y'all. I just fucking was like, I don't know. Like lately, I just been having like my vertigo's been acting up, and then I've been getting these like groveling like headaches, like excruciating headaches, and I was just like going crazy, and I was like, you know what? Let me fucking just shave my head off, and I was just like buzzed it, no problem. But I buzzed it too short at first. I was like, fuck. I didn't mean to. I was trying to do like the whole military, like high and tight spot. And I fucked up. So looking like Britney Spears for the summer, which I'm not hating. I kind of like going the short hair route because it's weird. I could feel the sweat on my scalp. Before I couldn't. With long hair, I don't know if you long hair folks out there could feel the difference when you shave your head. I don't know, just like before my hair would absorb it, right? It would be a bitch to dry too. And I hate it too, especially when sweating, because your hair is all wet and it's in front of your face, especially when you're running out, because I love running. And it was just obnoxious. It was annoying, and I was just like, you know what? Oh, fuck it. Let me just fucking shave it all off. And I look like a fucking potato, but other than that, it's been good. I've been feeling a lot better. I've been having more sessions with different artists, and I'm kind of slowly getting back to my groove. I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know if you guys feel this, because I've been in my office. If you guys feel like you don't know what the fuck's going on with you, like you don't know what's wrong with you. I have such a bad first of all, I'm a hypochondriac, so like anything I feel like ache in my stomach, I'm like, oh, I got fucking cancer. Fucking my left foot's going numb. I'm like, oh, I got diabetes. I'm such a fucking baby. I can't believe how Kareen can she can understand my craziness. Sometimes I feel bad for her because I'm like, oh, I might go to the hospital, and I do, and they end up just saying, oh, like there's one time it was funny. I was just gaining such a bad, I felt like I was having a heart attack. I was having so much bad chest pain, and I felt bloated, and I just kept belching and stuff like that. And I felt so like I was hyperventilating. I was, dizzy, and I was like, hey, just take me to the hospital, emergency room. So we get there. They do run some tests. They run my blood. And at the end of the day, the doctor was like, oh, yeah, you got gas. I was like, gas? I was like, what the fuck? Like, what is that? Like, yeah, it's probably your, you have gastric reflux. Oh, so when you get that, or people that have GERD, you tend to feel like you're having a heart attack, right? Your chest pain hurts, but it's just all gas building up on you. I don't fucking know. That's why I looked up. I ain't no fucking doctor, but after they gave me that news, all of a sudden that phobia kind of went away. I still get that, but I acknowledge that I have that symptoms. So it's weird in a way when you go seek help. I think that's why I always highly, highly suggest, like, if you're feeling unusual, go to the emergency room, go to your doctor. There's no reason why to kind of push it aside, because sometimes that can help you too at the end of the day, like with your psychic. And like me, I'm just always worried about that. I'm worried about the next thing, because, you got family that have had issues before. Like my grandfather, had a pacemaker. So I'm like always worried about my heart. He had multiple heart surgeries. My grandma had diabetes, so I'm worried about that. And just like, it's one of those things that you just like, you constantly in your head, especially like during the pandemic, I was inside a lot. And I was always in my head, almost like cabin fever. So, but I'm finally kind of getting back to normal. And, I think that's one thing is like, I highly suggest like us artists or producers to go out, talk to one another, talk to your friends, give them a call, because they might go through the same thing. And then afterwards you feel somewhat better, because I tend to have these conversations during sessions too. Like the lovely Angela, shout out to Angela. I was telling her about what I was kind of going through, and she was like, you know what, everything's be okay. You're gonna be fine. Just think of the positive. And she was very, very helpful. Like, it almost helped me. At the end of the day, I'm like, yeah, actually, I am okay. There's nothing wrong. If there is something wrong, I could go get some help. And so, if you feel out alone, dude, reach out to somebody. Reach out to a friend, and just to anybody. And it feels good. It really does feel good to kind of check up on people, especially in our world. It feels alone. Being a producer is a lonely fucking world sometimes, when, you're just you and your laptop, and you're just going at it. You're watching YouTube videos. It's just like, you're just solely by yourself, especially you don't have a partner, or like, you're not producing with other people and stuff like that, which I highly suggest especially if you're introverted, you're antisocial. I think the internet helps so much, especially if you're not comfortable being with people one-on-one, right? Which I could tend to be that way sometimes. I tend to kind of try to figure things out myself, or try to do as much as I can. But it hurts at the end of the day. You can reach out to one person, and they can take care of it, and that could be so much pressure or stress relieved. And that's another thing. Stress kills, dude. Like, it was crazy. I think once I was getting these, going back to these headaches, I was getting these fucking throbbing headaches. I actually went to the emergency room about it, because, my fucking ass was like, oh, I got brain tumor. I'm freaking out, fucking crying like a little bitch. And I just go there, and, at the end of the day, the doctor was like, hey, you don't have any symptoms of it, but if it does prolong after, 2 weeks, come back and we could seek help. But here's some neurologists you can go see. And basically, he just diagnosed me as tension headaches, which is pretty common. What happens is if there's a lot of stress you're going through, or you're like lack of sleep, you get these headaches all sporadic around your head. I was getting them. Usually when I get headaches, I get them for a day, right? And then the next day they're fine. But the headache was just prolonging, and sucked, because I wanted to do I had a lot of work to get done. I had, I just wanted to do basic shit, but I couldn't with these headaches. I was just like fucking feeling like dog shit. So, my lovely wife, she hooked me up with a massage, which it was really great. It was milk and honey massage therapy. It was fucking great. Best massage in LA, hands down. I haven't been in many, but I've been to one. It was like a resort. It was so shitty. It was like, man, it barely fucking touched you. But this one, my masseuse, she was like great, phenomenal. What was cool, you just ask them. Like, there's different levels. There's like sports, deep tissue. So I got the deep tissue massage, and it was really cool with my masseuse. She was like, well, it's gonna be hard to kind of go through all your body. What's like the one thing you want to focus? And I told her, I was like, hey, I was having these tension headaches, and more my upper body. I think that would be helpful. And then it was cool, which she got all these like pressure points, all these muscles, and afterwards I felt like $1,000,000, dude. Like that's one thing. Treat your fucking self if you can. I know it's hard. It could be very expensive to go, at least once a week or once a month. A lot of people can't afford it, but if you can, spoil yourself. It's okay. It's not a girlish thing, guys. Gents, do it. I highly doubt it. I highly recommend it. It's going to be fantastic in your body. You feel great afterwards. You're not going to hate the world. You're not going to hate that you can't get the fucking song right. You can't get, the fucking compressor done. It's okay. It feels great, honestly. Men got to pamper themselves too. Get a good hot shave, a good fucking haircut. Yeah, but also get a massage. Get your fucking nails done. What's going on? What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. Anyways, just getting to that point. Afterwards, it just felt great. I felt like $1,000,000. Got on my fucking, coffee mix, and I felt great. That's one thing, man. I just like recommend, like, I don't know. I've just noticed that I don't know. I maybe come across a lot of people that are stressed about their work, their things that they're putting out, and maybe that's something I might have to step away from, maybe distance myself to, because you could feel stressed out too. When you hear other people's, problems, you're just like, fuck. You look at yourself and you're kind of like, oh, okay, I'm not that bad. It's a good and bad, but also you can run into that same emotion as well. So, but yeah, I think that's one thing that you kind of have to do. You kind of have to like distance yourself from other people. It's funny because I'm like saying, oh, other people talk to you about your problems, but then distance yourself if there's a negative. It's like a push and pull. You just kind of pick and choose. And, me, I don't fucking know. I'm just telling you what I kind of do. It's one of those things is like, I love to share my, experiences and then get to know other people's experiences too. Like, I really want to start doing this segment of kind of like sharing like good and horrible moments in the studio. I'll give you one of my horrible moments at a studio session. So I was interning at Dennis Herron's studio in the art district. It was such a fucking beautiful studio. So what it was like a kind of like a brick building with a roll-up door on the side and a Rupert Neve console, analog console, and it was such a beautiful console. Open space, very artistic, kind of like very, I don't know, like such a chic, not chic, but like, I don't know, it kind of reminded me of like those warehouse kind of, when people, okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. The lady's home, so I can't talk shit. Anyways, so what I was talking about? Okay, yeah. So the studio was such a great location. Warehouse kind of vibe, old carpets, very kind of almost relaxed, zen kind of feeling. And Dennis was such a great owner, great, producer as well. It was cool at that time when I was interning there. They had he was producing like a rock band, kind of indie band called Made Violet or something like that. These gents were so cool, fucking dope. I would go do runs for them and they were so cool. They went a couple times with me and so chill. But the fucking engineer, man, I swear, he was such a fucking dick to me. Such an asshole. Just one of those typical fucking, like, pissed off, and he was a young guy, too. He wasn't old. Usually, you go to studios, it's like all these old fucking, dirt bags that just, like, they're just fucking grumpy. Grumpy as hell, because they didn't fucking make it to their band never made it or something, and I don't know. They're just so frustrated, but this was definitely my fault. I was a dumbass for this. So we're getting ready. We're prepping for their shit, and I'm told to clean. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I grab the vacuum, like vacuuming, la 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 la, and I'm like, okay, I can't reach this outlet. Let me reach this outlet. And it was full. So I'm like, okay, let me unplug one of these. It's, this cord doesn't look as important as it was. And I'm like, all right, let me unplug it. Let me plug my cord. I'm like, going. And I just hear from the back, like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, I look back. I'm like, what? I'm shitting bricks at this moment. And Misha was like, the console's off. What did you do? I'm like, oh, fuck. I looked down and I fucking pulled the plug on the console. And dude, you can't fucking do this. Like, especially on an old console like that, like a Ruber and Eve console, you're fucked when it gets rebooted. It takes a while to reboot, and something like that should never be turned off either. Most of the time they leave it on. They've never turned it off. And so I'm like fucking freaking out. I'm like, oh fuck. So I'm like, oh shit, I'm sorry. And I like, he's like, what'd you do? I'm like, oh, I just unplugged it. I'm like freaking out. I'm fucking shitting my brakes. I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna they're gonna fire me right then and there. He's like, plug it in. So I plug it in, and we're waiting to reboot it. And, not even like 10 minutes later, everything's rebooted. He runs through tests, and he's like, why'd you do that? I'm like, I'm cleaning. You told me to clean, so I cleaned. And, he was just a fucking dick. And you know what? But I deserved that. I was such a dumbass for that. So kids out there, or interns, or any newbies in the studios, watch where you plug the fucking vacuum or anything. Don't unplug till you ask somebody. It was one of those things I learned from there, and it's just I kind of laughed at the end. I was just like, what a dumbass of me to do that, knowing that the type of cord, what type of cable, it had. It wasn't like a traditional, outlet. It was one of those like 4 connecting ones, but it was something to learn from. And it's funny because you hear that stories when you go to school. Like when I went to Full Sail, they always tell us like all these fucking crazy stories about interns putting their feet on like SSL consoles. These like $1 million consoles, and we're just like, what the fuck? What dumbass would do? And then my dumbass fucking unplugs a fucking console, an analog console. By the way, that means. And so, at the end of the day, it was a fine, and Dennis didn't say anything. Misha didn't say anything. Dennis didn't even notice. Dennis is fucking watching, be like, what the fuck? Maybe that's why my console's all fucked up. But no, he was such a great guy. Dennis was really, really great. I actually kind of felt bad when I left that internship. I just hated it so much because he was just, Misha was such a pain in the fucking ass. He was such a dick, and just like, he didn't really care about us, which was, it's shitty. It's honestly, I hate that with a lot of studios. It's like a tough love, right? And I get it. They're trying to, build you up. So, they give you that confidence, right? When you step in the studio, you gotta have that confidence, and that's the most important thing to have, is that confidence. Because when the client comes up to you and they're asking for things you to do, you gotta have that confidence of saying, hey, I can't do that, or I'm gonna, I can do that, or I'm gonna try to find somebody to get it done. Because that's the worst thing. That's the easiest way you can lose clients, is by not having confidence in yourself. Because they'll be like, why should I invest in you when I can invest in someone else that has that ability or is confident into that can do what I'm asking for. So that's one thing I definitely did learn after that, just having confidence, especially just around artists, and not being aware, especially that internship. I learned a lot. I learned, when it's appropriate to kind of extend help for, your engineer, or even the producer, and learning to just step back and just kind of learn from other things, taking notes, understanding the kind of the vibe of the studio too. That's one thing. It was tough to me to learn that, and at first it was like I really wanted to be like, oh, if someone left, didn't have any water, and there was no water bottles near them, I would race, and in the middle of a rehearsal, that was that's definitely a no-go, and I definitely got a talk to about that, and afterwards I'm kind of like, all right, I need to chill the fuck out. This is a chill moment. Don't put pressure on the artists, and especially, the youngsters were really cool. These young guys were like really, really cool. So they were chill. They were grateful. They weren't like fucking, they weren't assholes. It was great. It was such a great experience. And that was one thing I kind of wish, like, if things were different, if I just kind of like toughen out and was like, I'm not gonna let this guy ruin my internship. And that's one thing you just have to learn and just kind of move on. And it's one of the things you'll learn on either sooner or later, especially with other things in life, not just production in general, and just like friendship, if like when to move, keep your friends and when to move on. It was one of those things, and I don't regret it at all. I just regret, no, fuck it. I just don't regret everything. No, fuck it. Fuck that. Because I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't be able to have that freedom. I would have had a lot more stress at that time, but I'd still learn. You learn from all those mistakes or those moves that you do. You learn from everything, and that's the most important thing about this, is just learning so much about yourself and the things around you too. And yeah, man, that's pretty much it. So, well, since it's after 4th of July, I gotta give you guys my 4th of July recap. I didn't do shit. We kind of fucking canceled 4th of July. We didn't think it was a very American thing to celebrate since everything's fucking going on with this fucking country. It's ridiculous. But the day before, we went to the beach. It was so great. It's been a while since I've been on the beach, just like relaxing. We went to Manhattan Beach. It was a bitch. It was crazy. It was a Sunday, and we were trying to figure out parking. I was trying to find my honey spot, which we park at like Playa del Rey. There's some good spots to park, but everything was packed. So we literally took an hour to find parking, and finally I was just like, let's go to Manhattan Beach. And I turned the first right, and luckily we found a spot. And it was just great spot. Took Babe with us. She was like fucking hyperventilating, just going crazy. But it was so good, relaxing. We had like all the setup. We had an umbrella. We had fucking food. We were just chilling the fuck out. So it was really good the day before 4th of July. But 4th of July, we just kind of stayed home. We had the pup, so we can't. I learned my lesson to take her out. It's just one of those things that dogs do not like fireworks or any loud noises. And, that's one of those things I don't want to put Babe into, which I did before, which I feel bad. But now it's just like one of those things that's like, we had a good time. We ate some like short ribs, these Wagyu short ribs. Fucking egg. Korean has found like this great butcher shop that is phenomenal here in LA, and they have Wagyu. And so she bought some steaks, some short ribs. I was like, fuck yeah, let's cook these short ribs. So we marinated with this Calbee sauce and at Whole Foods, and they turned out right. But we had to put extra sauce. But it was like a fucking great day. We made these like little like almost like little tortillas, like little tacos, but with like lettuce. And I've had these before in San Jose, but it was like shiitake mushrooms and like other veggies on top, but with the rice and the kimchi, the grilled kimchi, which is bomb. If you ever like kimchi, try grilling your kimchi. It tastes even better. And then that was pretty much it. After 4th of July, we just kind of like, it's been chill. It's been great to kind of recoup after that and kind of getting things ready. More projects coming out. I'm excited to release new music. I'm going to make an announcement later this week about it and just kind of give you guys the goods. Let you know what's the update on everything, since I'm kind of getting back together, and I just appreciate you guys checking out my shit and showing me love, man. I really appreciate those messages you guys send me on my DMs of like, hey, fucking love this song, when you're gonna release it, or just like even saying like, hey, just saying hi. I love that. Appreciate it so much. So that'll be it, guys, and I will see you in the next one.